Good evening. It's me, your old pal.
Y'all ready?
It's about to get real.
There's lots of different places that we could start. Let's start here.
Okay.
欢迎来到 CNBC 全球科技大会，请您入座并将手机调至静音模式。我们的会议即将开始，会议期间我们将为您提供中英文双语翻译。如有需要，您可以使用座椅上的耳机。频道1为英文，频道2为中文。
Welcome to East Tech West. Please take your seats and put your mobile phones on silent. We are about to begin. We will be providing both English and Mandarin translations throughout the conference. You'll find a headset on your chair.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I have goosebumps. Feel. Hello.
Soleil, we're ready for you.
Hey, Lexus, play my dope Philly playlist.
How do you like them apples?
I did not see this coming.
1, 2, 3. We are live from Davos.
Why do they always have to go bigger?
Good. This is good.
Unbelievable. We are live from the NASDAQ market site.
Welcome back. Welcome to the CNBC East Tech West. We're going to kick off the afternoon session. I hope you enjoy your lunch as well as our morning session. I also hope that you have reached out to our participants and our speakers so that you can have some relationship. This afternoon, we are going to have a lot of discussion. The first topic is about ESG. I believe that you know ESG very well, and in the past several years, many companies has already paid emphasis on ESG. But it's not easy, it's always a challenge. So I would like to invite Evelyn back on the stage. But before that, I would like to show you a video clip.
It's on thin ice, and that ice is melting fast.
Climate crisis is a gun to our head, so we better get our act together.
The people standing up and raising their voices against all that is happening, that's the hope right now. The hope comes from the people.
The fear is as palpable as the science is clear. The Earth's climate is in crisis, caused by humanity's continued use of fossil fuels. Global protests are intensifying, but so is the politicization of how to address the climate crisis and the impact greener policies may have.
I think it's really important for everyone to recognize that even in 2050, when we are at net zero, it is forecast that around a quarter of our energy needs will still come from oil and gas.
But as politicians debate what the path to net zero looks like, both sides agree that technology can play a vital role.
You have unbelievable amount of investment now taking place in new technologies. You have people moving to green hydrogen. You're moving to direct air carbon capture, or carbon capture utilization and storage.
But to pay for new innovations, financing is key.
About 20% of the world's equity markets are in sort of, sustainable investment. In debt markets, it's much less. It's probably less than 5%. So there's a long way to go, but there's tremendous demand. It's not a question of there not being money. It's a question of, will the capital be treated well where it goes? Capital goes where it's treated well.
But when it comes to investment, is turning our backs on the oil and gas sector really the way forward?
I do not believe in divestiture. And I still say, the far left did not like what I had to say. I believe you have to be continuing working with energy companies.
But it's not about cutting off financing for everything, Brown. We'll never get to transition that way. Transition finance is needed for those sectors as well.
Collaboration, it seems, is key.
We can see that because the economic case for renewable energy today is unarguable. The climate case is also unarguable. Why can't we just put those two things together?
A global response involving all stakeholders brings us back to the political question. How can we ensure the playing field is an even one?
Many developing countries feel that, they have so many things they need to do to develop their economies that it seems like a burden to have to address climate change and reduce emissions and impose carbon taxes on their own firms. Of course, it's a global problem, so it does require a level of trust that there will be equal efforts made by other countries, especially developed countries.
But as the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change makes clear, time is running out.
Do more, do it now, and try and own this. I mean, climate change is like the internet. It gets bigger every year, it never goes away, and you have to learn to make money from it.
All right, welcome back to our afternoon session. Have with here Sihan Bo Chen, who is head of Greater China for GSMA, and also Martin Xu, who is corporate senior vice president at Honor. Just want to talk a little bit about the entire mobile industry. From GSMA's perspective, you've set out a framework. Can you just give us some background on that? How you're looking at ESG?
Yeah, thank you, Evelyn. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon to you all. And it's an honor to be invited to represent GSMA to attend this East Tech West event. It is important because I remembered in 2019 I was here on this stage, exactly the same position, and I was talking about 5G. And that was when China just commercialized 5G for a few months. GSMA is representing the global mobile industry or industry association. So important thing about the ESG, when you say the framework, I think I can share with all of you, not just our own industry, but all the industry. There is sort of collaborative work we all need to do and take it seriously, because there's universal sort of framework. You follow the International Standard Board, and also you have the industry sector focused measurements, and also you have company like Martin represent Honor to talk about their individual companies' strategies. Now you can see universally and industry-focused, sector-focused, and the company, and how you're going to play the blocks together and all work towards the similar goal. That's very complicated and important for us. So we work with a bunch of mobile operators and ecosystem players, plus with EY, and also government policymakers, academia, and some startup community and innovative companies to talk about a framework for mobile industry, how we're going to measure it from the environmental perspective to the integrity of our digital technologies and also to the digital skills. So with all that framework, we actually released a metrics, ESG metrics for mobile industry. And I think Martin represent Honor is part of our framework as well. So I'll stop here. Basically, I want to share with everybody is when you talk about ESG, it's not just about your individual company, it's about the industry, and it's about the universal, our world. So GSMA's mission is connecting everyone and everything to a better future. So sustainability become the critical factor of that.
And that's certainly very significant for the industry because at least the update that I saw, there were 64 mobile operators accounting for more than 60% of the industry revenue. I mean, that's quite huge. And Honor is certainly a big player there. You have a new product. Can you talk a bit about the product and how you thought about ESG in that entire process?
Yeah, thank you very much, Evelyn. It's such a pleasure to join this event, especially work with the GSMA. Honor was independently operating our business since 2021. We're targeting to be a global iconic technology brand focusing on the smart devices. To be honest, ESG is embedded into the company's DNA since the day one. I think, select 7 topics, 7 pillars of our major work focusing on the ESG, including the environmental protection, the accessibility, including the transparent governance. To be honest, after 3 years independent operations, we found it's a very interesting industry. First, as Sihan mentioned, the smartphone sector is a huge sector. If you look at the volume, the total volume, the shipment of a smartphone globally is about 1.2 billion pieces every year. In China, it's about 260 million pieces. So it's a huge market. To be honest, it's a very challenging industry. When I look at the people, mostly the customers, they want new technology. Obviously, they are not happy, with the legacy technology. They want 5G services or even 5G plus, or also maybe they want the AIGC technology. But how to satisfy people's requirements, demands on the new technology? We have to focus on the R&D, but link all these factors with the company's ESG methodology. When Honor was independent, we target to be a public company in the coming years. And this is also the reason we publicly and proactively do a lot of work on the ESG. For example, we work with the GSMA to join some initiatives during the Mobile Congress early this year on the circular economy, especially in the middle of this year when GSMA initiated the handset affordability program globally. Also, Honor is one of the members to join this initiative. To be honest, we are very excited to join this sector and work with the industry partners to focusing on the innovative technology, satisfy the needs and demands from the customer.
So handset affordability, I know you have, let's say, cutting edge products, at least in foldables, the thinnest in the market, but it's not necessarily affordable. How do you bring in kind of new systems to your factory? I know you have a smart factory, and maybe think about ESG and affordability down the road. Do you have a specific point there?
Yeah, thank you, Evelyn. To be honest, Honor's focus is still on the handset design, develop. But manufacturing, we're doing part of the manufacturing. But I think we have set up in smart manufacturing center in Pingshan, in Shenzhen, not far from here. Our purpose is to shorten the period of time, the time to market, from R&D to the marketing sales. But obviously, we want to build an intelligent factory, also a green factory. Since we established this factory, we are transforming this factory. We are introducing the solar panel power system. Also, I think by the end of this year, we'll complete the refurbishment of this factory. We're going to have the certification of the green factory by May of 2023. So it's something well established and planned. To be honest, we are happy, especially under the umbrella of some initiatives from GSMA, to work with industry partner to make sure that the products we deliver to the market, they are green products with green technology, less plastic packaging, reduce the weight, especially on the consumption of carbon. So this is our main purpose.
And just one follow-up: is there a specific metric if I'm buying an Honor phone, I know there were X less carbon emissions that went into the production of this, something along those lines?
Yeah, we have a very specific mission, especially on the packaging. Well, our target is to reduce the carbon use every year on 10%. Also on the plastic, the new product we launched in Europe early this year called Magic VS when we do the packaging. Also 98% without the plastic. So we have a very specific target on the reduction of plastic.
Yeah, talking about affordability, because GSMA formed as Martin mentioned, there's a device affordability coalition globally. One thing I want to point out, affordability is not about cheap devices, because you can manufacture cheap devices, but you need to think about environmental impact, and also for the digital age, you need the device to be very good for those people with digital skills can have the access to the digital services. So there's a lot of things we need to do. Martin and I had a discussion yesterday talking about ESG is such a great topic, but too huge for us to manage it in 20 minutes time. But we sort of agreed that openness, collaboration, contribution. So we need to be open and recognize the challenges. For example, you don't just need 2G, power high consumption technology. You need 5G, which is a lot more advanced and secure technology than the other Gs actually consume the power a lot more. And also, with the device, you need good device, and then you need to work with the government policymakers to reduce the tax on it. So it's not just about one manufacturer can manufacture a cheap device. It's the public-private collaboration. We need to reduce tax. We need to educate all the people without digital skills. The reason GSMA launched this program is because we are addressing the problem of, we call it usage gap, meaning the mobile operators already covered, they're already in mobile network coverage, but they can't use it. So the digital skills, the education, the training, there's a lot of things we as a society need to work together to address that.
And on that point, I think we're all familiar as individuals with connecting to the mobile network through our personal phones, but I think even with your factory and with businesses, can you lay out a bit what the mobile industry sees as beyond just consumer applications?
That's a great question. So especially when mobile technology evolved into 5G. So 5G and its adjacent technology, like what we talk about, AI, computing force, quantum computing, AR, VR, all these new technologies would work together to connect machines, connect everything, connect people. So it's not just about consumer technology, and 5G's big challenge is actually how we're going to make the most of the 5G to business, how 5G can enable every single sector, industries in the world for them to be able to embrace the digital economy. So a piece of good news this year during MWC Barcelona, for the first time in history, the visitors from other sectors rather than the core telecom industry actually exceeded the numbers of the core telco visitors, meaning there are more other sectors participants realized that they need to embrace technology and use technology to help them to transform their traditional business.
Perhaps, Martin, on the manufacturing side, you might be a front runner versus some of these other non-telecom companies that went to MWC. What are some learnings that you've had in terms of applying ESG principles to your business process? Can you share maybe, Q4, what's one thing that you're doing?
Oh, yeah, as Sihan mentioned, in this sector, no one can be successful standalone. We have to collaborate. This is also part of our philosophy when we operate our business. We see in this sector, collaboration is very important. Since the day one when we start our business, we work with our US partners, a partner from Korea, Japan, Taiwan, also China mainland. So we build a very healthy ecosystem on the ESG, on the open ecosystem, on the accessibility, on the green agenda. So to be honest, we work a lot and support the work initiative from GSMA, and we benefit a lot. People, especially the consumers in Europe, they appreciate the company that invests heavily into the ESG on the green solution, green products, and they welcome such kind of a player in the market. Back to the contribution, I think there's a long journey. We published our first ESG report early this year. Obviously, this will be an ongoing initiative for Honor. We're going to have such kind of initiative next March or April. So we're going to report to our customer, to the public, policymakers on our work in the next few months. So definitely we look forward to the great support from friends, not only, as I said, from the mobile sector, but even the other sector, because this is a global initiative. So hopefully we can work together with other partners and companies.
Definitely, it sounds like a very big project that reaches globally. But to make it a little more tangible for companies that might want to follow in your footsteps, is there a specific meeting that you're having in the next couple of months, or a specific project that you're looking to kind of push forward?
Yeah. Obviously, as a company, we have regular discussions on different topics. So recently we held our suppliers conference on the CSR initiative. I think we're focusing on 50 plus major suppliers. But we're going to have our developer conference later this year. So we welcome, especially I see many friends come from LA, the Bay Area. You are developing fascinating technologies. Obviously, you can find this information conference from our website. So on the ESG perspective, I think we have the clear agenda, because I think in the next few months, we are preparing also the IPO preparation. So we're looking forward to talk to many friends from the different sector on the development of new technology.
And Sihan, from your perspective, what are one or two big challenges that the companies that you interact with face when they're looking to achieve some of the goals laid out in the framework?
Yeah, thank you. I think during the framework I mentioned, it is not just about your individual companies. You have a great ESG strategy sitting with your board or on the paper. It is you need to work with your partners, and your partners need to understand what you're doing. So that's one of the challenges. That is why GSMA stand out and started to like this event, we offer the global platform for people to talk to each other and understand the challenges. So it's not just individual company can just be a perfect ESG, focused company. You have to work with the whole ecosystem, almost everybody, to achieve your goal. Government policymakers, of course. So to answer your question about what we need to do, right, with all the challenges, it's not like you can't, like Chinese say, you can't just behave yourself, like 独善其身. You have to work with the others to help with that. We also have a lot of global big and small roundtables, government bilaterals, and industry and government forums, and of course our flagship event, MWC. So we just finished one in June in Shanghai, and this particular time, this week in Kigali, we have MWC Kigali. Last month finished MWC Las Vegas, and coming February next year, we're going to have MWC Barcelona. So we do create this platform and ESG and how technology and the innovation of technology can help us to do better with our ESG framework and strategies. And that's always sitting in the heart of GSMA.
Definitely bringing together a lot of partners, helping businesses. Just again, Honor, it sounds like you've done a lot of work on the ESG front on reducing plastic. Maybe you can share with potential consumers in Europe, how much is this new ESG phone going to cost?
I think in terms of the cost, obviously people want to have a balance on the cost and also the technology they are trying to have. So we developed our own operating system. We call it Magic OS. And based on this operating system, people can achieve different functionalities. The new technology they are working with the partner is called Device AI. And this is something we are going to introduce the AI functionalities based on the chipset level. And this is something that will be, I think, available end of this year and until the next year. So it will be quite fascinating. In terms of products, obviously we have already launched some flagship products in Europe early this year during the Mobile Congress in Barcelona, also in Berlin during the IFA electronic exhibitions in Berlin in September. So we will bring a lot of fascinating products, including the foldable smartphone, to the market, to the consumer. Obviously, it's not the end of the innovation. It's just the beginning. I think Honor is a newcomer and a challenger in this sector. I think we want to challenge ourselves even to bring more fascinating products and solutions to the customer. Obviously, if you want to have more information, you can visit our website to check. And obviously, there are lots of interesting stuff coming.
All right, well, we'll have to check out your tech, and hopefully we'll know more details on the price soon. Thank you so much both for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
好的，再次感谢 Evelyn 和
Thank you very much, Evelyn, and our panelists. The next part will be chaired by